There are people whose entire job is finding aliens. If they ever succeed, that means we are bound for extinction. And finding absolutely nothing out there for the rest of time is the best thing that could possibly happen to humanity. To explain why, I have to show you two things that had to go perfectly right for you to be sitting where you are right now. The first took 2 billion years. The second needed an asteroid. And by the end, I'll show you why finding one dead piece of bacteria on Mars would be horrifying. The universe is old, 13.8 billion years, about 3 times older than our own planet. And it's big in a way your brain physically cannot hold. It's really hard to comprehend the size of the universe. Our galaxy alone has a couple 100 billion stars, and at least as many planets. Hundreds of billions of worlds in one galaxy, and there are trillions of galaxies. What's the number of them we've found with any sign of life on them? 0. Not one. Not a single one. All that space, all that time, and nobody has said anything. No signal, no probe, no message, not one peep from anywhere. That's the problem. It's got a name. The Fermi paradox. Everything we know says the universe should be crowded. Why does it look empty then? Where is everybody? So what's going on? Either everybody's hiding or something is eating them. In 1998, Robin Hanson wrote a short essay that gave that something a name. Think about the road from a dead rock floating in space to a civilization that owns a galaxy. It's got steps. Hanson counted 9. Rock cools. Chemistry gets weird. Chemistry starts copying itself. Cells. Complicated cells. Many cells. Brains. Tools. Rockets. 9 gates. And to get to the end, you have to walk through every single one, in order, without dying. Now here's the logic. If a galaxy should be packed and it's empty, then at least one of those gates is a nightmare. Not just hard to go through, but impossible to pass. A gate which no other civilization passed. Hanson called it the Great Filter. So it's not that the whole road has to be hard, it's that one specific step on the road is a dead end. Everything before that step could be easy. Everything after it could be easy too. Doesn't matter. If one gate is unpassable, the road stops there. That's the filter. But nobody knows which gate it is. There are only 2 possible answers. One of them is good for us, the other one is horrifying. 2 options. And the gap between them is the difference between humanity either having a future or being doomed for extinction. So the question goes, is the gate behind us or is the gate in front of us? Option 1. It's in front of us. Every civilization that gets this far eventually builds the thing that kills it. The bomb, the machine. They cook their own atmosphere or something. They all reach roughly where we are standing right now. They all grab for the same shiny object and they all go quiet. Which means space isn't empty because nobody showed up. It's empty because everybody already died. And we're walking toward the same door with the same dumb grin on our face. And option 1 feels possible, doesn't it? We already built the bomb, we already changed the climate, we can already point at 3 or 4 different ways we might eradicate ourselves. But it's very easy to believe in a danger you can already see. But that does not necessarily mean that the option 1 is true. Option 2, it's behind us. Getting from rock to a thing that can ask where everybody is, that's the impossible part. The gate that stops everyone is somewhere back, in the mud. Billions of years ago. And we, somehow, luckily, on stupidity alone, already walked right through it. Now look, these 2 gates, they're not 50-50. There's real evidence pointing at one of them being more likely. And there's a test that can tell us which one we're actually living in. I'll give you the test at the end. But first, we need to go back to the mud. Life showed up on Earth almost immediately. The planet finishes being lava, cools down, gets an ocean, and there's already something living in it. Fast. Suspiciously fast. It sounds like terrible news, right? If life is that easy, it's everywhere. and the gate has to be ahead of us. Now hold on, because yeah, starting life is probably easy. I'll give you that one. Rock, chemistry that copies itself, cells. Gates 1 through 4, the universe seems to do those pretty happily. It's gate 5 where it all falls apart. For nearly 2 billion years, nothing happened. And I mean nothing. The most exciting thing on the planet Earth was slime, bacteria, goo. No plants, no fish, no bugs, no you, no nothing. Just goo for a stretch of time longer than everything that's happened since. Combined. 2 billion years of Earth being a warm rock covered in soup. And then one cell swallowed another cell and made a mistake. It didn't digest it, the thing it ate just stayed, moved in, started paying rent. That failed lunch became the mitochondria, the little power plant sitting inside every cell in your body. That merger is the only reason cells could get big and complicated, and eventually grow eyes and brains, and build cameras and Wi-Fi and spaceships. Now sit with a timing on that. 2 billion years. The entire planet is covered in cells, trillions of them, bumping into each other, eating each other every second of every day for 2 billion years. Just think about it. The 2 billion years of random accidents before one of them changed everything. That's not a hard step. That's a real filter. A cell that couldn't finish its lunch. That's the great filter we're talking about. Every living thing we ever studied, you, your dog, mushrooms, blue whales, the horror living in your kitchen sponge, it all traces back to one single ancestor. That single brilliant cell. But here's the thing, gate 5 might not even be the only filter. There's a second, much closer to us. And this one you can actually watch failing over and over in the fossil record. Evolution repeats itself constantly. Eyes, they evolved independently around 40 separate times. Different animals, different lineages, no connection to each other, same solution. What about flight? Well, at least 4 times. In insects, birds, bats, pterosaurs, all separately. When something works, nature finds it again and again and again. So take a guess. How many times has something on this planet evolved far enough to build a radio? Once. 600 million years of animals crawling around down here. One time. Us. And look how close it came to never happening again. The dinosaurs ran this planet for 165 million years. 165 million. We've been here about 300,000. They had 500 times longer than us. The big ones, small ones, fast ones, social ones, some of them with genuinely decent brains. 0 rockets, 0 radios, not one, not a single one. They weren't slowly heading toward us, they were just being dinosaurs, very successfully, basically forever. And then a rock, the size of a city, hit the Gulf of Mexico. Now that asteroid didn't create us, it just cleared the room, because the whole time the dinosaurs owned everything. Our ancestors were basically rodents. Small, twitchy, hiding in the dark, eating bugs at night. So if there's no asteroid, there's no gap. If there's no gap, there aren't any primates. And if there aren't any primates, we never come to be. That's the difference. Life versus intelligent life. Intelligence isn't a prize evolution is trying to win because it is costly. It demands a lot of energy. Your brain is about 2% of your body weight. It burns about 20% of your energy. That is a horrendous deal for almost every animal alive. Sharks have been doing perfectly fine for 400 million years without needing a big brain. So if they can live on without investing in the brain, why should they? So that's 2 filters behind us. Gate 5, the complicated cell, 2 billion years to happen, and Gate 7, a brain that does more than just survive, 600 million years. Only one winner, ourselves. 2 filters, we passed both of them. In order to get more information about other possible life forms in outer space, we obviously need to go there and check. There are 2 places worth checking. First one is Mars. It used to be warm and wet in the past, and whatever happened there is still sitting frozen in the dirt. Second place is Europa. Europa is a moon of Jupiter and it's completely covered in ice. But underneath that ice, there's a liquid ocean. It might hold more water than every ocean on Earth. Liquid water in the dark. undisturbed for billions of years. If life starts easily anywhere, it starts there. So there are 4 things we could find. 1. We find nothing. Dead rock, dead water, nothing living anywhere. That's the good one. It means getting life started at all is genuinely hard, which puts the wall probably behind us. 2. We find simple life, single cells, bacteria, basically slime. Slime that started on its own with nothing to do with us. That's bad. It means life is easy and it's everywhere. So whatever's wiping everyone out has to be further down the road, closer to where we are. 3. We find something complex, multicellular, actual cells working together as one thing. That's worse, because now the 2 billion year gate is passable as well. Everybody gets through it, which leaves the intelligence wall as the only thing standing between us and everyone else. 1 wall instead of 2. And 4, we find ruins, buildings, machines, anything built, something that was there and it isn't anymore. That's the one that ends the optimism, because it means every gate behind us is passable. Life, complex life, intelligence, technology, all of it. Everybody gets there, and then something happens to them, which means the filter was never behind us, it's in the front, and it has never missed, not once, not in 13 billion years. So when our rover lands on Mars and sends back the results of a dead, boring, empty rock, that's not a bad day for science, that's one giant leap for mankind. If this video is your kind of thing, leave a like down below and drop a comment for the algorithm if you don't mind. I usually read all of them, there's not many of them, so yeah. See you in the next one.